Back to Besa starts right now on Fox 13.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Back to Besa. I'm your host, Besa Gordon, and per usual, we have a lot to talk about today, so make sure you grab your snacks. This week on Back to Besa, we are reliving JamalClause, highlighting the Pacific Northwest Ballet's Jonathan Bastisa. We bring back Never Have I Ever as I get my very first tap dancing lesson. We recap what went down at the NHL Winter Classic. We head over to the Woodland Park Zoo for a backstage pass look and tour of WildLanterns. We talk about how to have self-love in 2024. And of course, I gave you events happening around the city you need to know about. But first, it's Hot Topics.
Okay, I don't know what was in the water this week, but Cat Williams definitely had some time. So here's the thing. I was minding my own business and I started seeing all of these posts go up about Cat Williams literally going in on all of these different comedians, saying that they stole his jokes, basically calling some of them sellouts, and so much more on the Club Shay Shay podcast. Check out some of the hottest moments that people were talking about right here.
What is your relationship with Steve Harvey, Ricky Smiley, and Cedric the Entertainer as you sit here currently?
For 30 years, they're a group. These aren't three random guys. The way that Ricky Smiley kept appearing at all of my auditions is because of Steven said he would tell anybody that, listen, they got a gang on that side. They know what it is. He told you the story about when the movie came out. Where did he say he watched it? At home. He wasn't even at the premiere. You telling this man, you stole that. Oh, so he could get his name in the same sentence with a great one. It is sad. He was just that bitter when we were shooting it. He told everybody, it should have been my role. Everybody on the scene. Why do you think no cast member has ever said anything?
He couldn't have played that role like you. I thought he was...
Sir, no one... Why no... He was with KD? He beat up Terry Crews? Why nobody know this story? You talking about in Hollywood, they switched off roles. You take this and he... What?
Now here's the thing, this is Cat Williams. I really don't think that anyone should be that surprised. If anything, we should all just be entertained by what he had to say. Now some of the stuff I was kind of like, but a lot of it, I actually kind of believe him. I'm not even gonna hold you. Hit me up on IG at Besa Gordon. Let me know about what you thought about the things that Cat Williams said, what you feel that he may have kind of, exaggerated on, or what you thought was absolutely the truth.
This week's show was very athletic, so it was only right that I took some time to highlight my buddy Jonathan Bastisa.
It was announced on December 28th, 2023 that he was awarded the prestigious Entertainer of the Year 2023 title by Pocan. Batista's triumph arrives a year after his historic elevation as the first Black principal in the Pacific Northwest Ballet's company history. The award, presented by Ernest Walker of Pocan, praised Batista's dedication and transformative impact on the ballet landscape by saying his unwavering commitment to his craft, his hard work, and his passion, the sheer brilliance of his bringing to the stage as the first. Jonathan has not only made a name for himself, but he has also become an inspiration for aspiring dancers everywhere. His journey is a testament of power to making sure that if you believe it and you do it and you work hard, you can achieve it. Huge congratulations to you, Jonathan Bastisa, and I cannot wait to continue watching you breaking down these barriers.
It's a new year, and I'm bringing back a segment that's always been a favorite of mine, and that's Never Have I Ever, where I take myself out of my comfort zone and try new things. A couple days ago, I got a chance to try something that I wanted to do for a while, and that's learning how to tap dance. But I had to get the best from our city to teach me some moves, and you may have guessed who it is.
I'm talking about Seattle's very own Pamela Yashtaki.
Widely known as a member of the hit female tap sensation Syncopated Ladies, Pamela has wowed audiences around the world, performing live in sold-out concerts and in viral videos, accumulating over 50 million views online. Pamela's television credits include The Late Late Show with James Corden, the 70th Annual Tony Awards, Maya and Marty, So You Think You Can Dance, Good Morning America, and recently Spirited the Christmas movie. Let's take a moment to get to know Pamela a little more, plus see how I did with those lessons. How you doing?
I'm great. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, welcome back home.
Thank you.
I'm curious because I think what I love about your story is you started tapping at like the age of 9.
Yes.
And now as an adult, you're literally able to do what you grew up doing, get paid to do it, and literally get paid to do what you love. So how did you actually get into tap?
I got into tap dancing by way of my mother. So I loved dance, I loved movement, but I was really such a tomboy. Things like ballet and having to show up in a leotard and tights, it didn't really speak to me. And my mom used to show me footage of like the old masters. So I used to watch the Nicholas brothers and like Bilbo Jangles Robinson. And she loved tap dancing. My mom loves tap dancing. And she introduced me to all the old hoofers. And I was like, that's what I want to do. So she connected me with a woman who she knew who was teaching tap dance in Seattle, who was also teaching in the public school system. She was teaching at MLK Elementary School. That's Dr. Darylyn Smith, who was my original teacher, and she started a studio called Tap Central here in Seattle. And that's where I began training at 9.
So, okay, I want to talk about an event that you recently did here in Seattle, and you work with Lemon Grove a lot.
I do.
Tell us a little bit about Lemon Grove and the events that you guys are doing out here.
So Lemon Grove is a Black-owned vintage collection shop. I'm actually, 2 of the owners are my cousins. So my cousin Ian and his wife Maria, their business partner Jason used to do pop-ups with his collection. I mean, he has like a really incredible collection of vintage clothes. And he would do pop-ups at like street fairs and festivals, and they started looking for like a brick and mortar location where he could have a home. And they opened up the Lemon Grove, I think summer of 2023. And it's kind of just been this amazing location for all things arts and culture. They have parties, they've had poetry readings, they've done a lot beyond just being a storefront for vintage clothes, but the clothes are fire.
Now, speaking of support, let's talk about the Syncopated Ladies.
Yes.
So, how did you join? And for those that don't know, tell us a little bit about it.
So the Syncopated Ladies is an all-female tap band located in LA based, and it was founded by Chloe Arnold, who is a world-renowned tap dancer and really close friend. She started the company in 2003. You know, tap dancing has always been looked at as something that was really male-dominated, and the stories and the voices of women in tap dance have kind of been pushed to the back burner, and a lot of them haven't gotten the credit, and consequently there hasn't really been like a platform or space for women in tap dance. So what Chloe did was really just like forged this path for all of us and spearheaded this movement where it's like we're gonna dance how we want to dance with all the feminine flair, and you know, including other styles. Like whatever we want to do, we're gonna do it, and this is our thing and we're in charge of it.
So for someone that wants to get in tap dance, especially little girls of color, what would you tell them if they just feel like they don't have a space?
Well, tap dancing is an art form that was created for the people by the people. You know, it is the people's art, it's the people's dance. It was birthed out of a need to feel free at a time when we didn't even own our own bodies, you know what I mean? So I think because it was pioneered by enslaved Africans, it is ours. It is a true American art form, which means that it is ours. So it's to me, I'm like, any young people, particularly Black girls, like, this is ours. It's our history, it's our lineage, it's our legacy. It's definitely yours for the taking, and take up that space. Get in that class. Come see me.
So Pam, I'm going to ask you to teach me a couple little things in tap, and we're gonna see how I do. Okay, you guys, we are back here. I got some tap shoes on, thanks to Pamela. I haven't fell yet, but I did kind of slip a little bit because I wasn't paying attention, but all is well. We're gonna get my very first ever tap lesson real quick.
I'm gonna teach you a step. This step is every tap dancer's like go-to step. We say like, this step will follow you your entire career, your entire lifetime. It's called a shuffle. Okay. Okay. So shuffle looks like this. Front, back, step, all on the balls of your feet. So brushing just your toe, front and back. Oh, she clean. Come on. Other side. Left foot. Here you go. Shuffle, step. Okay, perfect. Now, I'm going to add another little caveat here. You have a ball change. Ball change. Just rock front and back. Sorry, back to front. Yeah, okay. Other side. Left foot. Take it back. Ball change. All right, here we go. Shuffle, step. Left side. Shuffle, step. Now shuffle right. Shuffle, leave it up. Ball change. Shuffle, step. Shuffle, step. Perfect. Let's do that again. How it would work is we'll say
Hope I don't
shuffle,
slide.
step, shuffle, step, shuffle, ball change, shuffle, step, left, shuffle, step, shuffle, step, shuffle, ball change, shuffle, step. We're swinging. Step, shuffle, step, shuffle, ball change, shuffle, touch. Back to Besa. Back to Besa. Yeah.
Let's try.
Let's do it. We have, I'm going to count you in a 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3. Shuffle, step. Yes, shuffle, step. Good. Shuffle, ball, change, shuffle, step. Work. Shuffle, step. Shuffle, step. Yes. Shuffle, ball, change, shuffle, step. Right side, shuffle, step. Shuffle, step. Wow. Shuffle, ball, change, shuffle, touch, step, hold. Back to Besa. Back to Besa.
Hey, I didn't fall.
Yes. You gotta give me 5. That was amazing. Oh my gosh.
I did not bust my petunia. Not gonna lie, your girl didn't do too bad. I mean, I still have some work to do on staying balanced for sure, but Pamela is definitely an amazing teacher, which made it so much easier to learn the steps. I highly recommend pulling up on her for some lessons over at Northwest Tap Connection, and don't be shocked if you see me there, because I'm definitely pulling up. We're off to our first commercial break, but when we come back, we're tapping in with my buddy Chuck Hamaker of Circling Seattle Sports to talk all things NHL Winter Classic. You're watching Back to Besa. All right, you guys, welcome back to Besa. I'm your host, Besa Gordon, and as you know, the other day I was at the Winter Classic living my best life, but I didn't do it alone, which is why I could not recap what went down alone. Today, I am joined by my buddy Chuck Hamaker of Circling Seattle Sports.
Besa, it's great to be here with you. Still thinking about everything that went down at T-Mobile Park.
Yo, that was a vibe. I feel like the energy in there was so electric, you literally had to, like you could see it, you know, people were talking about but you could feel the energy in there.
It was definitely a once in a lifetime experience, and it was incredible all that we got to do, all that you and I shared, and just the memories that will, live a lifetime, because this is a once in a lifetime event.
No, absolutely. Now, one memory that you have that I didn't get to experience was actually seeing the ballpark go from ballpark to ice rink. What was that like?
It was really unique to be at T-Mobile Park from late December all the way up to game day to see there was just no rink there. There was no boards, no nothing. They had to put out these ice pans so that we could actually get the ice surface. Then you watch things like the boards go up, the glass, and just the rest of the scenery around it until there was no ballpark grass. You and I, we're used to seeing the ballpark and the grass and baseball. It's all gone. It was pretty wild to see the NHL put together an event like this in our home ballpark.
No, absolutely. And they did it so effortlessly and they did it so quickly. And I don't know, it almost looked like a TV set.
They have it down to a science now. They bring the NHL refrigeration truck around and set that all up. And from what the players said, the ice was just an ideal condition, so they had no problems with it. It sounded like it all went very smoothly. So Besa, while I was at the ballpark, seeing it all get prepared for the game itself, you were over at the Enterprise Fan Village checking out the United by Hockey trailer. Now, what was that like?
You know what's funny? Okay, so I checked it out for the first time last February for Black Hockey Night, but it was different because that night was my first time ever going to a hockey game, so I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous, moving around, didn't really know what was going on. As close as I am to Fitz now, I'd never met him before, so I kind of like peeked in there and was just like, okay. But this time I actually had the pleasure of getting a tour of it by Kwame Mason, who was actually one of the co-creators of United by Hockey, and he actually created Soul on the Ice. Hey guys, Besa Gordon here. Dude, we are at the NHL Museum right about now, and I'm with my buddy Kwame. Kwame, tell us what's going on today.
This is the NHL United by Hockey Mobile Museum. It's a very interactive experience for all fans who come and check this out in Seattle at the Winter Classic. We've got a lot of great exhibits, a lot of great stories to tell, and we're just really happy that Seattle has brought us in to share this experience.
We have a lot of brown faces here.
You do, we do.
And the thing with NHL is that there's not a lot of brown faces that are front-facing within the NHL.
Right.
Why was that so important for you? Because I see my buddy Fitz right there.
It's really important because if you see it, you could be it. And one of the biggest things for me personally is the next generation of kids who love the game of hockey and want to be a part of it. And they need to see these people because they can see that they are not just at low levels, they are very high positioned people in the world of hockey. And when you learn about their stories, it might inspire somebody to want to follow in their footsteps.
As someone of color, how did you get into hockey?
I'm from Toronto, so if you know anybody from Canada, we're either born with a hockey stick or if you come in there, they'll give you a hockey stick. I grew up, loving the game, played, and then later on in life, I directed a documentary called Soul on Ice, Past, Present, and Future, which is about the history and contributions of Black athletes in the game of hockey that dated from the late 1800s to our present day.
I went to my first hockey game just this last February.
Right.
And it was new for me, but I was like, I don't really know if I belong here. I don't really know if this is for me. And then once I came, I was like, this is for everybody. What would you say to people of color to make them realize or just feel that they are welcome?
You expand your horizons by taking chances and going and seeing different things. And just because you don't see as many people that look like you in a space doesn't mean you're not allowed to be in that space. And I encourage people of color to go and check out hockey. And you're probably a perfect example. When you got there and you sat there and you watched that game, I'm sure you were like, man, this is something I love to watch.
Facts. Last thing, anything else you want for people to know about the museum?
Well, go to NHL.com to find out a little bit more about the museum. And while you're here in Seattle for Winter Classic, come down, experience it for yourself. It's going to be here all weekend, and it's going to be one of the best things you've seen besides the game.
Awesome! Thank you so much, Kwame.
You're so welcome.
I appreciate you. All right, now, while I was over there roaming around United by Hockey, the Winter Classic wasn't just in Seattle. I saw that there was something that went down in Tacoma. What was that about?
So the Kraken, the NHL, the One Roof Foundation, and Virginia Mason Franciscan Health all joined forces together to head down to Tacoma to the Verlo playfield. Now, they refurbished that playfield to be able to help continue to grow the game and show their commitment to growing the game in this region, especially Tacoma. So whether you don't have access to rinks or equipment, anything like that, everybody can come out to this playfield and be able to experience hockey and ball hockey, anything like that, to really just continue to grow the game of hockey as the Kraken, the NHL, grow that commitment to the game in this area.
I love that. And by the way, guys, we actually have a segment of that. So if you didn't get a chance to check out what went down in Tacoma, let's check it out.
This morning we are at a quintessential Pacific Northwest morning down in Verlo Park in Tacoma, celebrating the groundbreaking for what will be the new multi-sport court down here, which is a partnership between Tacoma Metro Parks, Virginia Mason Franciscan Health, One Roof Foundation, the Seattle Kraken, and the National Hockey League.
The city of Tacoma partners with Metro Parks on many, many projects, but this one is really, really exciting because of its connection with the NHL and the Kraken, and everyone's excited about hockey. I grew up playing hockey, so I'm excited to see it here in Tacoma. I'm excited to get out there and play.
The NHL and the Kraken really value the expansion of the sport, and Metro Parks is really involved and really devoted to creating opportunities across the whole city, especially in underserved areas.
When you go into a lot of communities, you don't see a lot of people of color playing hockey. It's about going into Tacoma. It's about going into South Park. It's about going into communities that have not gotten a lot of attention and going in there and being intentional, making sure that everybody in our town, in our area, has access to hockey.
Kids need to have fun. As a dad, I know my kids love having fun, and this is an opportunity for kids here to engage in something outdoors, to get physically active.
Whether you make the NHL or whether you just play street hockey, what you remember is the friendships and really the camaraderie you build through sport. That's the foundation of a lot of our childhoods, and when you really look back on life, I mean, that's what's important. You have to have a good place and a safe place to be able to do that. The type of infrastructure that is fun and feel cool at, it's special, it means something.
I'm hoping the first Tacoma native to play for the Seattle Kraken is on that court right now. That is what I want this legacy to be.
To me, the long-term impact is that it's people that are falling in love with our sport, yes, but they're also just making friends and creating their own set of memories that they're going to take through life.
It's not just about being physically active, it's about experiencing joy and connection. It's about learning about teamwork and commitment and resilience, and literally and metaphorically, how to get up after you fall down. And these are all the things that help our young people become physically, mentally, and emotionally healthier and stronger. And that is what we hope this sport court will do.
So Besa, while the Kraken had their practice day the day before the Winter Classic itself, there was the food preview. Sodexo Live curated a special menu for this event. I know when we had All-Star Week here in Seattle, you guys got to go out there and check that out, go out to the head chef and go out and see all of the wonderful food there. And I know you like to check some of that out. Can you tell me a little bit more about the food preview and everything that you saw and tasted?
The food preview was a vibe. First of all, I love to eat, okay? Anything that has to do with food, I'm there. Like what, food preview? I will be there and I will make time for it. It was actually really, really dope to check in with Chef Javier Rosa. It's always nice to see him. I even got a little selfie with him. And the food was actually really good. I'm not gonna hold you. I think my favorite thing, surprisingly, was the crab pizza.
I agree.
I kept going back for that pizza. And then also, I'm not a big pork belly slider fan, but I really, really like that. The clam chowder was a vibe. And then also, what was it, coconut hot chocolate?
Special hot chocolate? Oh yeah, no, that was excellent.
I'm not gonna hold you. I went online and I was like, okay, let's see what's going to be part of this food preview. And I saw coconut hot chocolate and I was like, no, why would you do that? I understand why they did that now. Did you have a favorite food that you ate?
Crab, like you said, with the crab pizza, I had that first one and I looked back at the table. I said, well, they got a few more over there. I don't think they'd mind if I went back for a second one, right? The coconut, like you said too, I have a little bit of a specific palate, but it flowed really well. It wasn't too in your face, and especially on a cold day like the Winter Classic, perfect sort of drink to get you all warmed up.
No, absolutely. I was very pleasantly surprised, and now I'm like, now let me go back online and figure out exactly who makes that, because I want some more. And I'm not gonna hold you. I am hoping that they do keep some of these specialty items for when baseball comes back. Now, there is more, and that is the actual game. That game was legendary. Chuck, let everybody know who wasn't there. What went down the day the Kraken officially hit the ice?
Well, you know, everybody had been worried about the conditions of the weather, whether or not the roof, retractable roof at T-Mobile Park would be open. Thankfully, the fog burned off, and we had an excellent setting for a great game between the two youngest franchises in the NHL. The Kraken shut out the Golden Knights by a score of 3-0. Joey DeCord, your Kraken goaltender, recorded 35 saves in a shutout. That's the first shutout in Winter Classic history. So, a historic event, a once-in-a-lifetime event. Seattle keeps rolling. They're on a 5-game winning streak. So they're red hot right now. And they come into 24 playing really well, structured. They look like the Kraken we saw a little bit last season.
Now, speaking of that, say the Kraken win all of their games this month. What does that mean for them?
Well, they had a tough start to the season. They dug themselves a little bit of a hole as, you know, they brought a few new faces in and you got to find your mojo again, right? But they're just a point out of a playoff spot. If they can continue things rolling here as we approach a big road trip for them, they're right in the thick of it. You know, their division, it's a tough division. Vegas is in it, the team they just beat. But if they can continue this positive momentum, they're going to find themselves in a great spot to close out the next few months of this regular season.
Now, what if they lose one of their games this month?
I wouldn't say it's the worst thing in the world. It's dependent on how that game would go. If they're nice and tight and they're right there and they just, you know, one critical mistake, that's fine. That's what was happening earlier in the year. They finally broke through though. They were knocking on the door. They finally found the way to open it up, and you're seeing that success now. So I'd say it depends on how that game goes, but if it's a progress loss, you know what I mean? I feel okay with that because you know, you're not gonna win them all, unfortunately. But this team showed great progress, even in a few of the losses. The overtime losses, you still get a point in hockey. So their point streaks at 9 games, if they can keep that rolling, they'll be in good shape.
And then really quick while I have you here, do you have anything you want to say to your fellow Huskies?
Oh man, you know, it's been really exciting to watch the Huskies keep going and play in the national championship. Made Monday even better, a great day for sports in the city of Seattle. I'm just excited to keep it going. I know there's a few Michigan fans around the press corps in the Kraken. Everett was kind of talking to me about that this morning. But, you know, all I can say is go Dogs.
Period. All right, you guys, I definitely want to thank you for joining me to go over the Winter Classic. Chuck, real quick, let everybody know how they can keep up with you and all of your amazing sports coverage.
Well, to keep up to date with all of our Seattle professional sports, just search up on your favorite social media, whether that's Twitter or Instagram or even Facebook, Circling Seattle Sports. Every pro team in Seattle, but especially the Kraken right now, as they look to dig themselves back out of the hole they created early and get into a playoff spot.
Welcome back to Besa. It's time for Backstage Pass, powered by Quantum Fiber. Anyone ready to feel like a kid again? I think what's dope about the attractions curated by the Woodland Park Zoo is that they make you so you don't have to be a kid to enjoy them. I had the opportunity to go and check out their holiday attraction, WildLanterns, and I kid you not, it's something you have to see in person for yourself, and it will leave you feeling warm and fuzzy, even though it's real cold outside. Let's take a look at what I see. Hey guys, Besa Gordon here. We are back at the Woodland Park Zoo, but today we are here for WildLanterns, and I am with my buddy Craig from their PR, aka Public Relations. For someone that has never been to WildLanterns, what's it all about?
This is all just about fun. We're really excited. It's our holiday lights experience that we do every year, and we have a lot of really cool stuff to see this year, from giant pandas to unicorns. So I'm really excited to show you what we have.
I can't wait to see it. Let's get right into it.
Let's do it.
Let's head this way.
Yes.
Hey! This is way more than I
Very
expected.
cool.
This is so freaking cool.
They do an amazing job.
Wowzers. Definitely didn't expect anything to like be moving, but then after I talked to you earlier, you were like, some stuff like has smoke coming out the nostrils, and this is a moment. This is cool. Are these daisies?
I think these are tulips.
Tulips?
Yeah.
Obviously, I have no green thumb.
Now we have a lot of flowers this year and some really cool birds in this section. We're gonna go into bugs and blooms next.
Oh, this is so
if you like bugs, we'll have plenty of those.
I don't like bugs, but in a lantern moment, I can do that.
This is our toucan trail, and it's really cool. There's a lot of toucans. You can see them hiding out in the trees, and there's these beautiful flowers everywhere.
Oh, it's so pretty over here. This is wild. I think that's one thing I love about the Woodland Park Zoo. You guys have so many amazing events.
Absolutely.
Like you have lights, you have like the Christmas stuff. You're like, this is beautiful.
Absolutely, thank you so much. Families can come enjoy this. It can also be a great date night or just come hang out with your friends. Like,
yeah.
It's perfect for all of that.
And the music is very relaxing, so whoever does the playlist, kudos.
This is our insect labyrinth, so you kind of get to feel like you're a bug. You get to see everything from their perspective.
Oh, this is a really cool area. Like, I don't really do bugs, but I can do bugs like this.
Yeah, they're very cute, right?
For those that might be wondering, because I'm nosy, where do the lights come from? Like, how do you guys create these moments?
We order these from a company in China called Tianyu.
Okay.
And they create the lanterns for us as we pick them out, and then they ship them over here. The lanterns are delivered right after Labor Day, and after Labor Day, they work every day, getting them all set up, ready to go by Veterans Day.
You were saying that you guys are already planning for next year.
Absolutely, yes.
Wow,
It's a year-long project.
This is so cool. Honestly, I wouldn't mind like a mini version in my living room.
Absolutely, yeah, same. Up next, we have our folklore round. So there's some mystical creatures like unicorns and a dragon, maybe two.
How cute are these? I kid you not, I always feel like a little kid whenever I come to the Woodland Park Zoo, but today, I feel like Elsa, especially right about now.
Right.
So what else should people know about WildLanterns?
That you're gonna have an amazing time, and remember that when you come out here, buy a ticket for WildLanterns, it helps support the zoo here and it helps us take care of our animals.
I highly suggest pulling up to the Woodland Park Zoo for WildLanterns while it's here. It's going down until January 14th, right?
Absolutely.
So if you don't have your tickets yet, grab them right now at zoo.org. Quick shout out to Craig for showing me around and telling me all about the experience. It was truly a vibe to actually roam around the Woodland Park Zoo in this manner. I'm typically the one that hates spiders though, but outside of the pandas, it might have been one of my favorite things. Oh, and I can't forget the moment I felt like I was walking over to an ice castle. WildLanterns is available to experience until January 14th, and you can grab your tickets at zoo.org. Okay, it's time for another break, but when we come back, we're heading over to Rainier Beach to check out what went down this year at JamalClause. Welcome back to Back2Besa. Back in December at Rainier Beach Community Center, hometown hero and former NBA legend Jamal Crawford hosted JamalClause, his annual Christmas toy distribution, now in its 20th year. This is a time when Jamal joins hands with World Vision and other community-based partners and organizations to give back and bring a little holiday cheer. With over 400 plus people served and a line that literally went down the hall and out the door, JamalClause offered toys and shoes and an opportunity for kids and adults alike in the neighborhood to meet Jamal and take photos with the Emerald City icon. Let's check out how it all went down.
So it's that time of the year again. We're here at the Rainier Beach Community Center for another year with JamalClause. And so kids and families are coming down. All the kids are coming through, picking out toys that they want, Lego sets, scooters, Squishmallows, all kinds of good stuff. And it's really fun just to see all the smiles and all the laughter in the room right now.
Giving, doing what we do. Obviously, we're in our community. We've been doing JamalClause now for at least almost 20 years. We do it all around the country. When I'm home in Seattle, obviously we're doing it here. I try to move spots. Last year, Van Nassau, we've had it at Rainier Beach, we've had it in the Central District, we've had it in the North End, now we're in the South End at Rainier Beach Community Center. I think there's a kid out here, or a few kids out here who, when they're in position, they're gonna do the same thing. I think making it to the NBA was one of the coolest things, but having an effect on people in a positive way is the coolest thing. And so for me, what I found out about myself is I think I was put on this earth to be a service to people.
it makes me feel great. You know, I love to see the kiddos. You know, there's one kid in there that found a Lego set, and he said, man, I've been waiting for this all year. So to see that excitement, to see the energy, and just to know that they're gonna go home with that present, and I hope that they remember this for the rest of their life.
The love that comes behind it and the love that brings people together, it's like, that's what it's about, because people are going through it, and I always say if you can help someone do it. So it's not just me, it's World Vision, it's you guys. We all have a role to play, but if we're all pulling the same direction, we can make magic happen. This can inspire one person. These kids won't ever forget this. I remember when somebody did it for me when I was a kid. You know, I didn't have the best shoes and the best. Right over there's a place called, I think it was Shoe Source, whatever it was. And I remember getting the XJ9000s. They were the fake Jordans, and I remember just feeling away because somebody gave me some new shoes. So I know these moments last forever, and hopefully it strikes inspiration, it strikes hope, and it strikes caring that somebody cares about them. One of the most important ways is giving is time. Give me your time, because we can't get that back, but the time you give to people to show that, you know, that you care, and there's somebody out there that cares about them, and showing that level of compassion, because you never know what somebody's going through. So I think you should always carry yourself with a certain level of humility, a certain level of being thankful, and a certain level of just compassion and caring for other people.
Crawford says his title these days is community member, and he finds joy and purpose in giving. And that's truly what it's all about. I've said it before, you never know how you can change someone's day and or life by simply giving back. And we thank you, Jamal, for continuing to support our community. All right, you guys, we're off to another commercial break. But when we come back, we're talking all things self-care in 2024. Welcome back to Back2Besa. One thing we are doing in 2024 is working on our self-care. There is so much happening at once in the world that it's truly important to take a moment to care for ourselves and truly listen to what our bodies need to keep us aligned with our purpose on this planet. Before we jump into events to know about, I want to show you all part of a short video project on self-love and self-care called A Note to Self, produced by Sydney Steffens and filmed by Tiara Frost.
Self-love, 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 self-love is. Self-love to me is protecting my energy. I tend to give a lot to other people. I love being around other people, but knowing when to protect my own energy, and me at the age that I am now, it's me finding things that I just like doing by myself and knowing that enjoying my company is fine.
Self-love to me is honestly self-acceptance, accountability, and boundaries. Getting up every day and elevating myself from yesterday. It could be working out an extra 5 minutes. It could be making sure I'm meditating and showing up for myself in order to be able to show up for other people.
It is how I show up for myself every day. Me making sure that I'm waking up at a certain time every day. Me cooking a meal for myself. Just like really honoring myself in what I do daily for myself. Just not going back and forth with yourself mentally and just trusting yourself.
You gotta embrace yourself. Embracing the things you love to do. Embracing yourself so you love who you are, so you can show love to others for who they are. Embrace your gifts. We all have one. We just show it in different ways.
Thank you so much, Sydney and Tiara, for your segment on A Note to Self. And honestly, y'all, I can't wait to see the rest of the series. All right, you guys, we are off to another commercial break, but when we come back, it's time for events to know about happening around the city. Welcome back to Back2Besa. It's time for events to know about, where I tell you about all the dope events happening around the city so you don't miss out. First up.
With the Huskies going to the championship game on Monday, I know a lot of us are not going to actually be able to make it down to Texas. So here are a few watch parties that are happening around the city that I thought that you should know about. For one, there is a watch party happening at 5 Rights Brewing Company, Stilo's Kitchen and Bar, Corner Tap House, And I even seen that Republic, which is in South Lake Union, they're even having a watch party. But here's the thing, guys, let's be honest. Everyone is going to have a watch party. I don't think there's going to be a single bar or restaurant that you are going to be able to go to on Monday and not actually be able to see the game. So hit me up on IG at Besa Gordon. Let me know where you're going to be watching the game at. Personally, I'm probably going to watch it at home because I don't want to get stuck in traffic on the way out. But I do have to mention, UW is actually also hosting a watch party. And if I were to go somewhere, it would probably be UW.
That's it for this week's events to know about. If you know of any events I should shout out next week, send an email with the event details, please, to Back2Besa@whereweconverge.com. All right, you guys, it's time for our last commercial break. But when we come back, it's time for Affirmation of the Week. Welcome back to Besa. Each week we like to end the show with an affirmation. This week's affirmation is, I trust that everything in my life is unfolding perfectly. What's wild about life is that sometimes things happen and our first thought is, why me? But over time, you're able to see exactly why you. You're able to see that if this thing didn't shake up your reality, you wouldn't have made it to the next step. Take time to take a breath, to look at what's happening, utilize your resources, and keep pushing forward. The worst thing you can do is stop pushing towards your dreams because your life took a turn that you didn't agree with. Now that's it for this week's episode of Back to Besa. I hope you all enjoyed this week's show. Of course, if you have anything you want me to know about, shoot me an email at Back2Besa@whereweconverge.com. That can be a business you want me to highlight, an upcoming event, or even someone within our community I should know about. Whatever, whoever, I can't wait to hear from you. Now, I'm officially back on Hits 106.1. Took a little break like most of us during the holidays, so make sure you listen to me right here in Seattle on Hits 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. and in Portland, Saturdays 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Jammin' 107.5. Until next week, I want to wish you all a happy new year. Say thank you for your continued support of Back to Besa, and as usual, have an amazing rest of your day. And of course, keep that energy high.